My name's Adele Onyango and welcome to another episode of Legally Clueless. No, seriously, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Hey you, welcome to episode 160 of Legally Clueless. Thank you for rocking with this podcast. But if this is your first time ever listening to the pod, welcome to the family. Join our Insta page. We're on Instagram, yes, at Legally Clueless Africa. Yes. A bit of a change to the handle. And you can check us out on TikTok, Legally Clueless Africa. And if you want to chit-chat about this podcast on Twitter, please use the hashtag Legally Clueless so that it's much easier for me to stalk you. Check out our YouTube channel. Really excited about that because you can watch our video series there. There's 2 seasons out. And there is a new episode on our tour series. Yeah, if you're new around here, I sometimes break into song when I'm a bit excited. But yeah, Legally Clueless in Dubai Part 1 is finally out. I know I teased to it in quite a few episodes, but then because we ended up doing 2 trips to Dubai, we had to kind of restructure when the episodes would go out. But Part 1 is officially out on our YouTube channel. There's a lot of sun surfing in there. There's a desert safari, poetry performance, Burj Khalifa, and of course, African stories. Our YouTube channel is Legally Clueless, but in the show notes, there's links to our YouTube, our TikTok, our Instagram page, and our Facebook. Man, I always forgot about Facebook. Anyway, all the links are in the show notes. But speaking of stories that we recorded in Dubai, one of them is coming up a little later in this episode. Listen to this.
So normally what people do, they call them bed spaces. So a person will just rent a room like this, a 2-bedroom apartment or even a 1B. Then they will put deckers. Bed utapatana nayo pale kwa mlango ukiingia. Kumejazwa bed. Unajua decker 1, 2, 3, 4 zimejaa. Sito kwa kila room kuna decker. Then sasa the person anaipimp, they put curtains, they put mattresses, then they bring all this cooker, gas cooker, microwave, fridge. They put everything there. Then they advertise kwa Facebook pages and stuff. So unapatanga normally the charge is around 24,000 to 30k Kenya shillings. Bed ya down for a month. The person who sleeps up will pay around 16k Kenya shillings. There was a place in a bed space I stayed and there were like 26 people in like a 2-bedroom apartment. 26 people. For someone like me, I feel like if I go back home, I didn't go to Campo. Already kuna a lot of graduates back home. Wana jobs. So imagine me coming back and I'm like, I'm looking for a job.
That is Dennis's story and it's coming up in a bit. We recorded it while in Dubai and yeah. I did not know about bed spaces and so many other things that he shared in his story. Okay, before we get to Dennis's story, the song of the week. I've played this song every morning for the past maybe 2 weeks, thereabout. I'm afraid I could be slightly addicted to it. It's by Asha. Remember her from Jayla and so many other awesome songs, but everyone I've recommended this song to, they're like, oh, we only know that one song of hers. Ugh. Guys, she has such good music. Anyway, so the song is called Mayana and I really love it. It's such a sweet, cute little love song and the music video is also pretty awesome. So I'll put a link to it in the show notes. Check it out. I love it. It's got good energy. All right, while you're checking that out, this past week. Honestly, no, let me not do a heavy sigh. I feel like I made a bit of progress and was more in control with my emotions this past week. It was actually not a bad week, so I take back my heavy sigh. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it's just because I'm recording this at night, but there's no need for a heavy sigh. So Thursday. I told you last week I scheduled my therapy session for Thursday because that also marked 10 years since my mom had passed away. And that was probably one of the wisest things I've ever done on said day. However, I did wake up feeling a lot at peace, weirdly enough. Obviously, somber a bit because you think about the person you've lost, but I could hear myself clearer. Anyway, I'll get to that a bit later. But so my therapy session was pretty awesome. What we're figuring out is boundaries and mapping boundaries around me. it was so interesting, honestly, because I think for the longest time I focused so much, because of the nature of my job, on drawing boundaries between me and the outside world. So people who listen to the show, people who interacted with media stuff and entertainment stuff. And I did a really good job of that. But I didn't draw boundaries internally. Like, so what my therapist does, I'm not sure if I've shared this on the podcast. If I have, just pretend you're hearing it for the first time. So she draws like a circle, and then a bigger circle around that one, and a bigger one around that one, and a bigger one. I have said this before. So in the middle, ideally, it should be you, so that you can hear your own thoughts and you can really live a true and authentic life and really be in touch with who you really are. My tiny circle was pretty full of people. And so we're working on boundaries right now, and it's not the easiest of things. Sometimes I think I'm a bit naive in thinking that, things will just be so easy. Fall into place, but it's not easy, but it's necessary. And I'm already seeing like the fruits of kind of like silencing everything around me. I can hear myself so much clearer, and even just things like poetry, like I'm writing so much more. So that's one thing, we're unpacking in therapy, but also grief. So talked a bit about that because Thursday and just really owned how broken my identity is because of grief. It's shaky. I think first you lose someone and something inside you dies, and it's so hard to pinpoint what that thing is, but it's there. That's one. Two, I think for me, I don't know about you if you've experienced grief, but like I think I tried to be like my mom at the expense of living a true life for myself, and I thought I had a handle on that, but I think it's something that I have to keep checking throughout, or like expecting people in my life to be like her, or assuming people in my life want me to be like her, you know what I mean? And these are all like really heavy things when it comes to your identity, and I feel like the next phase of grief for me is going to be bundled in solitude. It's going to be me walking most of it alone. It's not a bad thing. Actually, I feel like it's a necessary thing. But yeah, I think we really just unpacked how devastating grief can be to things like your identity. But all in all, I feel like this is the first time in eons I can hear myself so clearly. As difficult as that is to maneuver, it's kind of fulfilling. So yeah, no reason for a deep sigh this time around. Okay, so I wanted to jump into 100 African stories. So when we found out we were going to Dubai, I was just like trying to find people to record, Africans living there. I realized before this trip, I knew only one person in Dubai, and they're not even African, but I was like, what? So I remembered my best friend Val has a friend there. Shout out to you, Nuru. Connected with Nuru and was just like, oh my God, I'm coming. Do you know people who'd want to share their story? Just Africans, just trying to understand what is the African experience in Dubai like. And one of the people that we were connected to is Dennis, who has the best humor, is such a storyteller. His story is about leaving Nairobi to go and hustle in Dubai ultimately, and just kind of like the difficulties and highs of that journey and the misconception people have of him back home. 100 African stories on Legally Clueless. Stories from Africa.
So my name's Dennis Maina. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, but not specifically Nairobi, from Ngong town, Ngong Hills. I am also a DJ, part-time DJ. Chini ya maji, yeah. Yeah, my stage name's DJ Service Link. Yeah, so after high school, I wanted to join campus. I was supposed to go to Kabete Technical to pursue, I wanted to do something electrical. So I applied for electrical and electronics engineering. But at that time, fees and money issues. So our family, of course, we are still hustling, struggling. So I have an elder brother who, back in 2014, he managed to come to Dubai. He got a job through an agency. He came to Dubai. So for me, I was so excited. In my head, I was like, I have to go out of Kenya, in any country, Qatar. At that time, I think a lot of people were coming to Gulf countries to work. I didn't mind any country that I would go to, but my brother came to Dubai and, I used to flex on us pale kwa mneti. See, hey, this place is looking nice. So lazima I leave the streets, nitoke tu kule hivi mtaani. So after nimekosa fees, so I was still hustling, struggling. I worked in a supermarket. That time I was listening to you on Kiss. Yeah, I used to be there on my Mulika Mwizi, and I'm like listening to Adele in the morning. So I hustled, and I managed my brother in the same company. He had their interviews and stuff, and they're taking guys from back home through the same agent that he came with. So he called me, like he supported me, like get your passport, get everything right, go to this guy. And nika manage, and I managed to come to the same company in Dubai. Actually, I was excited. I didn't even mind going like ile, what do you call it, like feel excited like unaenda kwa ndege, but I just wanted to land, to leave Kenya and land somewhere else, start making money. You know, I was still young and I wanted, bro is wearing all these J's, Nikes. So I want to dress nicely also, at least in flex. I'm still young. So I was excited anyway. It's the same I was not excited to come to Dubai. So when I landed, I was still kuna ile fear factor. Like this country is an Arab country. So I've heard stories before of them doing this and that. But my bro used to tell me the place is nice. It's cool, But until I landed here, so I was like, I have to see it for myself to know that the place is cool. Because I asked different people before I came here, and they're like, hey, this place, those guys, you cannot joke with this, you cannot joke with that. Yeah, so I was like, no issue, man, I'm here to make money. Yeah, so unlucky enough, I got a job directly from when I was still back home. Yeah, so nikakam straight to nimeanza kazi. Yeah, so I landed at the airport. My flight, I landed around 1 a.m. We were 2 guys from Kenya, so we got in the same company. Interestingly enough, we were from the same place. So tukapata kazi, then we landed. We had to wait for one guy from UG who was coming. His flight was around 3, he was landing around 3 a.m. So we waited at the airport for 2 hours. And I'm just there staring looking at people. I've never seen so many people, and the airport looks nice. So like coming from back home, and then you get here, and there's a what do you call it? A train. Kwa airport ndani, the carpet, everything was just, nimetoka mtani, mimi ni hustler, mimi ni mshamba. So I was just looking at these people, and at that time nakumbuka I saw some guys who looked like they had us speaking Swahili, and they're like, nyinyi wa Kenya, they were Tanzanians, but they were like Arab people. They looked like Arab guys. So I looked at the place that time. I just wanted to, I'm not going back home anytime soon. I'm finally here. Yeah, so the driver picked us up, the company driver, took us to the company accommodation that time in Al-Quoz. There's a place called Al-Quoz, industrial area. So mostly unapatanga accommodations are on that side. Accommodations mingi kwanga huko, the other places where they have accommodations, even this side. So we went there. The following morning, we slept around 4. They told us you have to wake up early in the morning, go and eat. 6 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, the canteen opens at 5. Go and take your breakfast. We just got there at night, no lights. They told us your beds are here. Go there and, enda mweke vitu zenyu and sleep. That bed is empty, that bed is empty. I thought like we are coming and Dubai is like, fine, we are just chilling like a setup like this. But when we got there, the accommodations, they're like camps. Ni kama unacheki vile you stay, like people stay in campo. So it's a room, and then kuna deckers, double deckers and stuff. So you guys are just there. A room can have like 5 deckers depending on the size of the room. So there are guys sleeping down there, we utalala juu. And they're from different nationalities. Like everyone is from different nationalities. So unapata muhindi analala chini yako, you sleep up there. And at that time I came, I was huge. So this guy told me to sleep up there. I'm like, hey man, I can't sleep up there. Your place, I'll fall down. I've never slept kwa kitanda ya juu. So I went there, tukalalanga. The first day I didn't even sleep. 1 hour. People woke up. They started preparing, blah, blah, blah. Guys are there, I'm used to, these guys are walking with this. They call it lungi, nishuka. They tie that shuka and they go to the washroom. You go to the washroom, wanaume wamejazana, because unajua it's a men camp. Ni kwa wanaume. So men only. So unapata, that time I was confused about the place. And then I came, you see, it's October. It's still hot. So the humidity From the moment we left the airport, the humidity was too much. So your time, so we went there, we had to wait we ate breakfast. Everything is spicy. So kachai kwanza, the cup is like this. For me, I come from home and I'm used to having tea with a big mug. So I come there and this guy the cups are very tiny. Okay, they are chapatis. I was surprised they are chapatis here. And they call them paratha or even chapatis. Indians, they call them chapati. So, okay, you take your chapati like that. But I was happy to see my brother was not there in that specific place, but he was in another accommodation. But our accommodations were not as nice as the accommodations. So I was feeling, and some guys actually recognized me. Yeah, you're Steven's brother? Yeah. I said, yeah, I'm Steven's brother. How? I know him. We work together and stuff. I said, I felt nice, And that time, nimebuy kasimu ka STG kutoka mtaani, so my savings 8k, I bought an STG. At that time someone will tell you iko na specifications tamu. So this one, even the camera is nice. So I came with it, I was flexing, and everyone here has an iPhone or a Samsung. So you see all these Pakistani guys, they love Samsungs. Everyone has a Samsung, man, and everyone has an iPhone. So I was like, hey, niko inchi gani? Niko inchi ingine. That was the time, like, naona sasa mambo sasa inaenda poa, but I had to get internet ndo at least ni text wase wa home ama ni text hata bro, so that I can feel I'm at peace, because I don't know, maybe these guys will kill me. After the entire time from the airport, the driver is driving. These two guys have slept because I'm told, he said you can stay here. He was an Indian guy. So he's talking to me. I can't even understand what the guy is saying. His English is, I don't know. And anyway, that is the language that we speak these days. So unapata kizungu yangu, we are talking now. When I'm talking to those guys, even hata wewe, you will not understand, like, what did you tell the person? Yeah. So at that time, and we are driving. So I was just reading signboards. So just in case this guy takes us to the desert and slaughters us there, I'll know the way home. So I look at these guys, they are snoring at the back. I could not sleep. I was so tense. So the whole experience was nice to get there. So we waited for the HR in the morning at 8. Tukaka pale, people have already gone to work. The shift used to start at 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock, mnaanza kazi. It was a warehousing job. So this company was it's a water company. Actually, it's a very big water company. Yeah, so I used to work there. So what you do, the buses will come and pick you up, drop you at the warehouse. So you will work there for 12 hours. You can work for 8 hours from 6 o'clock to 2 p.m. But if you need that extra cash, you have to work for overtime. So when we came here at that time, we have free accommodation. Anyway, in the salary slip, they are showing that they tell you here, kwa ground, they are telling you it's free accommodation. But kwa salary slip, they are deducting the money. So if they give me that money, I'm supposed to have a lot of money. So at that time, nikiwa back home, I signed like everything, the offer letter. So they will send you a copy of the contract. So you have to read. But at that time, who cares? You just want to get out of that place. And you are there and someone tells you will be earning 60k Kenya shillings. I was so hyped. And I remember before tukua bado Kenya, I went to several interviews pale Westi. One time we went with one of my friends, and the company was a Qatari company, but they were still paying like 60k. So this guy told me, I was there, he was an ex-Qatari guy, he worked there as a security guard. He told me, you see that cash, it sounds more when you're here, but when you get there, the expenses that you're going to have, the money is not enough. But I was like, bye, you were there, you came back, you were flexing, you were just there chilling with the can of Tusker, and I'm just there chilling in a ganji. Yeah, so I tried several places, different places. There's a place I got a job, but at that time I was still very young. I was 20 years old that time. So they told me, no, we want people who are 21 and above. Yeah, so after we met the HR, so they assigned us to that warehousing department. There were different departments. There was a tissue department, the water department, juice department. Yeah, so they assigned us to the tissue department. So when I got there, one of my friends, so when I was back home in Kenya, I was working in a movie shop, a movie store. My brother was working there before. So when he left, alienda kongelesha the boss, and the boss lady let me come there. So the guy who he was working with came before me, like a month before me, and he was taken to the tissue department. So we used to work together back in Kenya, from the same place, Ngong bado. So then we got... I was taken to the tissue department, and I was like, man, this is... So we were best friends from Kenya and now. So we worked there, but the guy was telling me, man, the job is not easy. It was very hard, and we are working with all these, Egyptians. At that time, we were working with Egyptians. And if you know, working with the Arab people, naturally, they are loud. So even they can be talking and laughing, they are joking, but they are so loud, you feel like these guys are shouting at me. So it was tough. The job was hard. The place was hot. I was sweating. That time I was huge. So I was just sweating. And at some point I remember I was like, man, why did I even come to this place? The place is hard. But I kept pushing. That time we don't have money. Hatuna doza kubai bako ya to wash slippers. You are just sent by your parents just to go and hustle. I've not yet met my brother. I don't know how I'll make money. I don't know. I don't have anything. So we went to the HR. They gave us an advance of 800 dirhams. So at that time, the rate was by 23, but now it's like 30. So it was, for me, I saw it was a lot of money because at that time you are buying, if it's food, if it's that soda, like Fanta, it's like 75 fills and you have 800 in your pocket. I was flexing that time. So my brother sent me a message. I got in contact with my family. I told them I'm fine. And when I started the shift, I was just working for 8 hours. So I was like, this place is nice. Considering in Kenya, you work from 9 to 11, 12 kwa movie shop, you get home at 1 a.m. I've worked in a supermarket. You start at 7, you close at 10. So this place, I start at 6. By 2 o'clock, I'm there chilling, browsing. I have Wi-Fi. It's not like home. I have to look for data. I have to buy. So I loved the place. So I got the money. And then I talked to my brother. He said, now you can come and visit me on my side. So that time, I don't know how we are going to get to that place. Are we taking a bus? Are we taking the train? So the guy was like, no, you have to take a bus. Then you have to take a train. Then you have to take a bus again to my place. So we bought a bus card. Normally here traveling, you need a bus card, right? So this bus card, you just buy the card from the metro station. It's like una-load simu, una-load token, ama vile una-load token. So anytime you tap, when you go in, it will deduct the cash when you tap out. So when you're going in the train station, you tap in, you go in, then, and the same thing when you're going out. But if you don't tap out, itakata tudo. Just some people are very smart. The driver doesn't check. The buses that don't have makangas, you just stop, you come in, you tap. Peke yako, nobody will tell you like tap this, tap that. Because they have random checks randomly from the government, Roads and Transportation Authority. So they can pop up anytime. Stop the bus, everyone, they will just start scanning the card. If you don't have any card, they will arrest you. And when you are arrested here, you are done. There's nothing else. You're just taken to jail, 1 month, deported. You will not carry anything, no money, nothing. You just go back home, empty-handed. So no need to risk vitu kaa hizo. So we just came and we had fear, like you cannot cross the road in a place, you have to go to the zebra crossing, it's that side of the bridge. And I remember we got lost at some point before we went to meet my brother. So finally I met my bro. We went to one joint to eat. I remember the first time I ate all these sandwiches. The menu comes and it looks nice. I want this. That day, I'm telling you, tumbo ilinitoa mbio. My stomach that day, I could not sleep. I said in my life, this sandwich, I'll never eat it again. And they ate, they ate. We went, me and my friend, his name is Kama. So me and Kama, we went there and tukakula, me and my brother, he showed me some of his roommates, wa Kenya bado. So we talked and they were so they were just freestyling to that place. Still there in Al-Quds, Mchangani, they call it Mchangani because it's just a desert. Yeah. But there are those accommodations, but any place fitted to live. So Mchangani there, everything is there. I didn't know people drink here. I found out there. So they have all these beers that they buy. Very strong beer, kama changa. Depending on the one that you want. There's that with 5% alcohol in it. There's one with 8% alcohol in it. So they love those ones. It's called Red Horse. Pombe flani to Red Horse. So the Red Horse is what is the best. If you're spending your own money and you want to get high, and you go and buy Red Horse. Because if you drink 5, you're mzinga. Right, 40%. So I got there, these guys, they are Tukopale Mchangani, the guy is just ordered. Just call, they normally call the plug. That guy is Indian. You just tell him, buy, they call them buy his brother in India. Buy, just bring for me 5 Red Horse. So they might sell like 5 for 25 dirhams. Yeah. So the guy just brings like 10, everybody 2. So that day I was excited. We had fun that day and I was relaxed. Back in the days, there were these events, like Kenyans will organize, Kenyans in Dubai, we will go to like a beach. We just go there, we contribute like 15 dirhams each to buy kuku, because kuku here is the cheapest thing right now. Like kuku here is 10 dirham. That is like 300 Kenya shillings for a whole chicken. But beef, for a kg of beef, you have to pay like 600 Kenya shillings. So sometimes even the chicken on offer is 10 dirham. It's like that 300. So one for 150. So what you do hata kwa shopping yako ya end of the month, you're shopping, you just go there, you buy your chicken, like 4 chicken. Every week, 1 chicken. You can eat chicken here. You just zikuchoshe. Chicken sandwich, everything. So we know what we used to do. Guys, I didn't know the people, but that was the first time that I met this guy. So my brother told me, you guys need to give 15 dirham each so that they will buy this and that and that. I said, no issue, man. I have 800 in my pocket. I'll pay. So the guy was like, he used to tell me, you think that this 800 is a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Ni pesa kidogo sana. But for me, I didn't care. I was like, this is money for me. Mini tajiri. You want us to take a taxi? Now ile kiburi, you've got money. Yeah. So yeah, I felt nice and I was still young and stupid that time. So we went to that beach. I met Kenyans. That was the first time I saw a beach. Like I've never gone to coast. To Nairobi, to Nangi coast. So I've never been to coast. And this beach is nice, Mamza Beach. Yeah. And when you're in Dubai side of Mamza Beach, you'll see the buildings on the other Emirate, Sharjah Emirate. They look nice. So I enjoyed, I loved the place. So that day we ate. I think people drank, but I didn't know, pombe was being served chini ya maji, for the OGs. For us, you're just drinking your Fantas and you're drinking water like that. So yeah, tukaogelea. I was still afraid of the ocean. I've never done anything like that before. So the first experience was nice for Dubai. And until that time, I got my first paycheck. Actually, the advance, they were deducting it after 3 months. Like in a period of 3 months, in a span of 3 months, they'll deduct the money until they get their money back. At that time, in that period, they were paying very well. They were paying good cash. So we used to have money. I'm not paying for any house. I'm not buying any food. I'm eating there. So once I received my cash, it's my cash. First thing I did, I bought a Samsung. This XTG phone was just killing me. It was slow. I bought my Samsung. I just threw this one away. So that time I received my first mullah, then nikaanza sasa kushika do. Started now catching money. Kaanza kupiga look. I remember my first shoes actually nilizipost Facebook vile. I bought my first J's. Yeah, so at that time I was flexing. I bought my first J's. I think they were Imbo, I don't know. But as long as they were J's. So I bought my first J's. I remember I went to the mall with my brother, and I saw a watch, and I liked the watch, but the watch was expensive. It was like 300 dirham, 350 dirham. That's like 12,500 right now, Kenya shillings. But I said, I love this watch. I said, I only have 150. At that time, I didn't have money. He told me, take it, I will give you, then you will pay me back. He used to trick me like that. Just if you like something, you buy it. No problem, you're making money. You don't have any kids, you don't have anything. At that time, you're just, I get my money, I send back home, because the entire time that I was home, my brother was supporting our family. He used to send money. So when I came back, I had to pay him back, even though he didn't ask for the money. But I didn't feel anything like spending my money on him. And I still had to send money back home. So I was just sending home. Even if they are not asking for the money, I will still send. Until things changed. We were transferred. We were taken to a place called Fujairah. This place has 7 Emirates, I think. I forgot. So Dubai is just here. Dubai is fun. It's nice. But there are those Emirates that are very, very far. It's like going to Abu Dhabi. Yeah. But now Abu Dhabi is a developed city. There ni milima. Na sio this milima, green milimas, those dry hard rocks. Zenye ulikuwa unaona kwa movies za Yesu, you see those hard rocks, and all those guys are wearing all these kanduras. They call them kanduras, these long clothes. I was telling my friend, this is where Jesus was born, or the Israelites came. I've never seen such a place. It was far. So it's a place where you pay 25 dirham to come. You'll spend almost 2 hours on the bus before you get to Dubai. So ni place far, ni kama unaenda Nax. So we got there. So we were taken out of the factory, the main factory of the company. So 1.5 years passed, I'm here. So I was taken there. Lifestyle here was fast, sweet. Then all of a sudden, nimeshiftiwa, nimepelekwa kule. Same setting, there is an accommodation, everything, but now I was in the factory. Life there was even harder than I thought. You're working in a place, there's no AC. Even summertime, it's a warehouse, no AC. Mkona fan. And let me tell you that fan, itakupepeta, you feel like unaota jua. You are sweating, but you switch off the fan. Inatuma more heat your side. So like I got used to sweating. Even you're just working, the sweat is just here, just do. Unafanya tu hivi. Umesweat miguu, viatu, kila kitu. Actually you take a shower twice. And even showering is for maji ni moto, my friend. The water is very hot. You go to the shower, you have to, before in the morning you have to leave maji kwa ndoo. So that when you come in the evening, at least you shower with cold water, because and you put the water in the room, because even when you leave it outside, it will still be very hot. So summers were the hardest. Ramadans were the hardest. Those guys there, when they are fasting, they don't work. They tell you, my friend, you are eating. Please help. Please help. You overwork. And in the factory now, it's production. So tissue keeps coming and coming and coming. And that time, I'm like, now it's time for me to go home. Vacation is almost here. 2 years. I'm almost 2 years here now. I have to go home for like 2 months. So I need cash. They'll pay for a plane ticket, return, Emirates. No issue. They will deposit money in your account. But do you want to spend mtaani? You're from Dubai, my friend. You have to show you're from Dubai. Now my bro used to go home, and he's that guy. Alikuwa konado. So he goes home, he flexes. YOLO. But for me, I'm like, hey, it's easy. Sina do, I don't have money. So before your time ifike, so naona sasa I don't have money. 2 years zishaisha. Yeah, I went home for 2 months. I stayed there, go to home, nini. Vacation was nice. Then I came back. The entire time, job is stressful. Now they've already started cutting. They started deducting now. They are saying we will not get incentives. You will not get commissions. You will not get this. So salary, actually that time when we came, the salary was like 70K, and I'm not paying anything. The salary dropped up to like 35K now, half the salary. And now, to make matters worse, now they told us, if you stay here, we will deduct. You will only earn around 30K Kenya shillings. We will deduct that money. So you imagine you are just earning 30K and you're staying there. You've not eaten, you've not done anything. That is everything that they are giving you. And the place is still far. I used to look for jobs back then, but I didn't get any. Even the time to go for an interview, you can't get time. You're working a 12-hour shift. Sometimes even a 16-hour shift. The place was hectic. Production was they were just producing massively because it's a big company. So it was very, very challenging. And actually, it was me and my friend there. And all those guys, you see them holding hands. They are touching each other. Because this one guy will be sending you kisses. So for me, I found it very weird. And these guys they will keep stalking you. They have this ideology of like African men. You know what they say. So they watch all these dirty videos and stuff. So they think that especially this one is tall, so he has to be very big. They used to stop me and they're like, you same. They have a picture. You same. I say, yeah, me like this. Africa, all Africa. You just tell them all Africa like that. They are very mad. It's a very different experience. Dealing with those ones was not an issue. Dealing with Egyptians that we used to work with, these guys used to shout. And the only thing the guy knows is why. He will keep asking you, why? You try to explain to the guy, he doesn't know English. My friend Kama used to have a very hard time because for him, he speaks proper English, like the way we are talking. But you have to break it down in their English so that they can understand. So this guy will offend the guy. The guy will rant in English. These guys are just looking at him like, what is this guy saying? I'm like, my bro, just tell me your angers and I'll translate. At that time, like from home, I'm missing like my family. Imefika point like I just miss my people. I just miss my dad, my entire family. Yeah? But then I need money. So then it dawned on me like this is the time that I need to. 3 years I've already finished 3 years here. I did a course on logistics and supply chain management when I was here in a certain college. So that when I got that Kapepa, where I was working in the factory, there was an opening for a storekeeping position. So they called me there. But the person in charge, the manager, Egyptian again. So he used to, at that time I was thinking about kuseti ready and stuff. But this guy didn't like my hair. So he used to bug me, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to cut. So eventually I was like, I was not comfortable. Actually, I shaved, but then there was a chance for all this. I was just there, in and out of the warehouses and the factory. So then things got a bit complicated, salaries very less. At that point now, we are not staying in the accommodation because the salary will be less. So we are living outside. The salary is around 37K. And don't forget, people back home, they think our jamaa aliomoka. These guys are living lavishly. Wako na ganji, wako na do. People back home, they normally assume like we have money. We are very rich. Those guys in Dubai, they are living lavishly. Of course, kwa ground Kenya, it's hard. But here it's even harder. Because I'm getting 37K. That is like 1,002. I have to pay rent from there. At that time, we were lucky. We were just paying 350. The place there was not expensive. So from 1,002, you have to pay 350 for rent. You have food. You have to eat like around, let's say, 400 or even 300. So that's already 650. Then because where we were living and the place we were working was far, so we bought that scooter, that car scooter, small one. You see me, I'm huge, but I was sitting on that car scooter on a hill every day. So if it gets any fault, your salary is done. You don't even have any backup. Actually, there was a local joint Pakistani shops there and one restaurant. We used to go there and eat. Then we'll just write the bill. We will pay at the end of the month. Yeah, we'll go there. The shop also, tutafanya hivyo. You see, it's already 3 years. But someone who's back home is like, that person has been in Dubai for 3 years. They're supposed to have done something. So at that time, niko 21 years, 22, 23. So saizo nimeona like life is, I need to do something. So I was looking for a job seriously, but I didn't find any job. And the job there was giving me pressure. So what I did, I just tukajipanga with me and my friend Kama, and we decided we are going to resign that time. So we resigned. And funny thing, when we were working there, the supervisor used to like threaten us. I will terminate you. I will cancel if you don't do this. I will terminate. Egyptian guy. And he was shouting, I'm telling you. That guy was shouting. Everyone kwa warehouse will just stop because they know kuna shida. So when it was time for us to resign, just before Ramadan, we decided we cannot work another Ramadan. It was back in 2019. With this heat, no AC, no nothing. The break is only 30 minutes break for you. And that time now you're working for 16 hours. You come 6 o'clock in the morning, you leave the place 10 p.m. and it's standing. You're just standing the entire night, the entire day. It's not easy. You get home, umebit, you just sleep, wake up, come back to work. So we resigned actually, and they gave us a hard time. You could resign. They said, no, you cannot resign now. We don't have people. I said, but umekuwa ukitutisha. Every time you are telling us you cannot resign, you cannot do this. Yeah. So later, I talked to the manager. The manager, they spoke. Then they didn't do anything. I spoke to the HR directly. The HR said, I'll call the manager. The manager, they spoke their language, Hindi. They forgot about me. So I knew now I'm alone. So I told my friend, you know what we'll do? We'll not go to work. They're saying they don't have people, so either way they are going to lose us. We are not going to work anymore because we already finished more than 3 years we've been working in this company. For 3 years we've been working in that company. So it's time for us. We are done. After they saw we are serious and we are not coming to work, they used to call every time. Please come to work, come to work. And it's a place where if one person misses, you guys, you're screwed. Kazi itakuwa mob. So what happened? The HR say just go back to work because after you resign, you're supposed to do like a 30-day grace period for them to find someone to replace you. So I went there, we went back, we started working. That was May 2019. So we did that May. The first week of May, I saw a job interview, Dubai. Here in Dubai it's now. It was a walk-in interview. Most of the time people apply jobs online. So then I took a bus. That day I told my boss, the supervisor in charge, I will work an extra day. In that 30 day, I will work an extra day. I have an interview, let me go. He said, no problem. So I came for the interview. I was like, I'm just coming. If they give me the job, okay. If they will not, I'm still going home. I'm tired. And my parents back home are like, if the job is too hard, just come back home. At that time, my bro, alikuwa sha transfer you. He was taken to Oman. Same company. So I didn't have anyone here. So I just resigned. And so when I came for the interview, luckily I got the job because they saw I have an experience with a big company. And I got the job at Mars. Now they told us this is a chocolate company, blah, blah, a lot of things. Yeah. So that's how I started working in Mars. When I got the job, they told me, we will contact you for a second interview. So I went home. I didn't tell anyone. Actually, that time I had one suit. Nilikuwa nimebaingi suti moja. The entire time I was in Dubai, I was just wearing J's na makofia and, Nike. You have to... But then I was like, hey, what if niko na occasion or there is a wedding? Let me buy a suit. I had no idea about any idea about suits. So I walked into this place. The suits are these cheap suits, shiny. A gray one. I bought a gray suit. Me and one Ugandan guy. The guy bought a black suit. So I was like, I want that gray one. I have to look shiny. So I took so it was just there. Nava suit nikienda wapi. Na hiyo joto ya Dubai. So the entire time I used to have that suit It's just there in bed. Inapo hivi kwa bag, kwa suitcase. So that day, the day of the interview, that's when I decided, let me just wear this suit. And nikaivaa. I was like, hey, my guy, you look nice. You know, amenizoea na ma apron, na all these side pocketed trousers and viatu zingine. So that time nikapiga look. Kila kitu ilikuwa fine. I thought I looked fine. I had 2 interviews that day. So I go to Dubai. There's a place here, Salaluddin. There was here, when you're here, you try out any position. Hakuna limitation. So I went to, the first interview was a call center interview. Pale nimechocha, CV call center. I'm currently working as a call center. So I went there. I didn't know they are going to give me that mic. Yeah? Now they will just play a recording and then they tell you, now interact with this customer. Hey, nearly freeze, my friend. I was just there. This customer keeps bugging me. She wants a refund and stuff. The interview was about a refund and stuff. I just told her, come, we'll give you your money. I say, you're not supposed to give any customer their money back. So I failed that interview. At that time, it's hot. Nimesweat. Like vest yangu imesweat. Yeah? I'm there with the coat na shati yangu ya white. So I had to go to one joint, all this kasupa. I bought a new vest. So ndo nisipoteze ile 10 yangu. Vest actually ni 10 dirham. Hiyo ni 300 Kenya shillings. So ndo nisipoteze hii 10, kuna kungana zile uzangwa 3 packs for 10. So it's me walking with 2 other vests and my wet vests together. So yeah, I changed kwa metro. In the metro station kuna washrooms and stuff. I went there, I changed my vest. They can look fresh. I went for the second interview. I got there, guys are well dressed. I'm telling you, these guys, they look like they have experience. Wamengara. Suti yangu inakaa tu hivi sasa. I'm like, hey, rada. So the place was packed. The interview was like an hour. I passed. Then they called me up for a second interview. Actually, when they called me they called me, Dennis, you passed the interview, just come for a second interview. So at that time, I'm still like, I'm tired of Dubai. Nimechoka na UAE. So I went for the second interview. That day, I didn't even dress up formally. Like, nilikuwa nimengara tu, hivi tu. Jeans, Nike zangu, and I went. These guys were like, my guy, you're coming for an interview. You should have dressed nicely. But I told them, you just give me the job because how much are you offering? So I had the salaries much better than the place I was in. But still, so that at that time I'm earning they offered salary of around same 70k. But now I'm moving back to Dubai with no accommodation. That place I was paying 350. Dubai here, and that in Fujairah we were living only 3 guys in a room. So when you are staying 3 guys in Dubai or in anywhere here in UAE, mna live large because mna do ama ukao na do yako, you can stay alone. So 350 we pay a very nice room. But that time tumechukuliana your place. There are Pakistanis in one room, there are one Nigerian guy with his wife in one room, and then us Kenyan guys kwa room yetu. So everybody is just paying that same amount. Tunai collect, we pay the room. So here in Dubai, to pay for a bed, that's why accommodation is expensive. So normally what people do, they call them bed spaces. So a person will just rent a room like this, a 2-bedroom apartment or even a 1B. Then they will put deckers, kama kampo. And I'm telling you, Kenyans are business people. Bed utapatana nayo pale kwa mlango ukiingia. Kumejazwa bed. Unajua deka 1, 2, 3, 4 zimeja. Sito, kwa kila room kuna deka. Then sasa the person anaipimp. You know, they put curtains, they put mattresses, then they bring all this cooker, gas cooker, microwave, fridge. They put everything there. Then they advertise kwa Facebook pages and stuff. The down bed, ile ya chini, wewe ukilalapo any sauce. So unapatanga normally the charge is around 24,000 to 30k. Kenya shillings. Bed ya down for a month. You've not eaten, you've not done anything. Na salon nimeambiwa ni like 70k ukicalculate your time. 70k. So that imeenda kwa cage. Kwa nini? Mimi huge. So I remember when I went to that time, first time I went to Masafi accommodation. The second night, I was sleeping. I turned and the bed fell down on this Pakistani guy. The guy was screaming at night. So they had to tell the guy like, you'll sleep up, this guy will sleep down. So since then I said I'll never sleep on. Hapana, acha hata do yangu tuishi tu pale kwa rent, lakini kitanda ya juu hapana na mimi. Naweza kuwa nimekuliwa na shida sana before you doze kwa hiyo bed. So the bed is very expensive. Bed ya chini. So wa juu, the person who sleeps up will pay around 16k Kenya shillings. Yeah. So, and you know, these places, if you are a couple, no problem. If you're a couple now, it's more expensive. You will pay around 35k. Bed ya down. So ule atalipa 30k sasa mwenye ako juu. So that is 4 people. and life goes on. Then the place now is packed. There was a place in a bed space I stayed, and there were like 26 people in like a 2-bedroom apartment. 26 people. We were packed. Find people are couples and stuff. So Keja unapata houses are very expensive. So you rent a place and then you rent it to other people. Yeah, so you are making your profit, and it's a very lucrative business here in Dubai. People are doing it, Africans, all these. Or you can just partition the place. Na cardboard, unaweka partition, unaweka kitanda tu kamoja. Then you rent it for like 37K, 35K for a place. It's expensive. So you tell someone I'm earning like 100K, na unalipa Keja 37K. So you've not eaten. Transport, monthly transport, average, ni like 10K, 15K. Like hata 15K for a month, 12K up. Let's say 12K average. So rent umelipa 30K, 12K, that's already 42,000. You've not eaten. If you have a family, let me tell you, those people with families, with wives and wife and kid, ama watoi, you need to pay rent back home. You need to feed the people back home. Wewe unafaa ukule. People are struggling hapa Dubai. But hey, there are people with good jobs. People with very good jobs. 2 days of salotamu, depending. But Dubai, I'll say there's no limit to like job. Especially for someone like me, I feel like if I go back home, I didn't go to Campo. Already kuna a lot of graduates back home wana jobs. So imagine me coming back and I'm looking for a job. What did you study? Nothing, you see. But here, all it takes is experience. If you have a certain like experience, and when the two pale, and even you lie on your CV, like you can not just CV, you just bandika pale uongo mingi, uko na experience, blah blah. As long as you have the experience, you learn in the job. Then you get the job, unaanza kuearn some cash, but still everyone is just managing. Kuna wale, even those when you are miomoka, because more money, more problem. So yeah, you find a person start like kaniki vile sana nilianzanga hii job, singelala kwa bed yenye kwa hivi. So I looked for a better place. But still it's difficult for you to take like a place like this. You have to be earning a lot of cash. You have to be like a manager or somewhere. Yeah. And then that is just the cost. And some people, what they do, like come away who come na agent, people book visit visas for 3 months or a month. So normally a visa is like 3 months visa is like 30K Kenya shillings. From 25 to 30K. Then you book a return flight. You have to be returned because you're on a visit. So you come here, you pay for a bed space, you buy yourself food, you have to come with transport money, you have to print out your papers, get your documents right. All that thing, like all those things take money. Then you start now looking for a job. That's a risk. Average cost will be like 200K. You've already umekelea 200K umekuja kusaka job. Now people lack jobs here. Umekam 3 months imeisha. Amata maybe people took loans back home. Your parents took loans. You're coming to look for a job. 6 months zimepita. You keep renewing your visa. No jobs. But you might get lucky, you get a very good job. Because the jobs from agents, normally nakuanga ni low paying jobs. Utakuja hapa na salary ya 35K, 30K. Hapo unatumiwa, hiyo ni dondogo sana hii Dubai. Ama any other Gulf country. But ukikam na visit visa yako and maybe you are a graduate and you have some experience and it's already attested kwa embassy, everything for you it's right. You can get a very nice job based on ile whatever you umesomea. But a lot of people ni kama tu Kenya. People are working in places, careers they hawajasomea. That's Dubai. But so for me ilikuwa like ni challenging me kurudi home. So when I'm here right now, nilikamingi na story ya warehousing, then logistics, then saizi niko sales and marketing. I'm in the sales business. So and you can grow easily na nini tu. Then it's challenging for those people. There are guys when you unapata like visa expire, someone doesn't want to go back home. You are stranded here, of course, overstay. They'll call it overstay. When you overstay, they start charging you. So the first day I think is 150. Then from there it will be 125 every day. So you find someone with overstay of around 17,000 dirhams. That is like almost a meal plus. People are here just stranded. They cannot go home. Then after 6 months, this is Dubai and Abu Dhabi, visa of course, they will abscond you. That means you cannot renew, you cannot get a job, you cannot renew a visa. Even when you're on overstay, you can get a company that's willing to pay the overstay for you and apply for your resident visa. But if you are absconded, you have to go, like they can deport you. They just deport you and you'll be banned from coming back to Dubai. So there are a lot of challenges people don't know. People came to Dubai, you wonder why your person is never coming back home. They are working, but it's very risky. So we moved from there, nikaanza job mpya. Nirudi back to job. Nikaanza job mpya. It was not easy. So it's like a first paced environment ya kuwork, because sales are chocolate Dubai, like snacks they move, and the brands ni kubwa, so Snickers, Bounty, all these things, they are moving, so these people expect huge sales. So imekuwa tu ni challenging hivi, but I learned in the job. The job is so nice, siwezi complain. The kazi yenyewe, it's comfortable, it's good for me. Yeah, so but still hakuna kulala, we still look for jobs every day, opportunities every day. That's why for me, if I'm like sitting with some of my friends, I normally tell them, keep sending those CVs. Apply your kazi ya manager, apply your kazi ya CEO. They will call you, maybe you utabatika. That's why what a CEO does. But in Kenya, they have to the hizo processes and stuff. So the good thing about Dubai is that, but it's very expensive.
Catch more African stories in the next episode of Legally Clueless. I'm so grateful to Dennis for, finding time to come to us and share his story with us. And he's just got good energy. I think I've gained a friend from recording him for the podcast. Let me tell you, I had never heard of bed spaces before. And I'm still so shocked. I'm still so shocked about it. I was shocked when I was recording the story, when I was editing. Even now, I'm still like, oh, what? I like that he talks about the expectations that those of us at home have of, our family members and friends who travel to different countries to work. We think they're like rolling in money, and people are really just the same way we are at home, hustling super hard to just make ends meet. And also when he talked about the cost of living vis-a-vis what you're earning. So it could be seen as you're earning a lot, but if the cost of living is high, then is it really a lot, But yeah, very, very thankful. His story just was so eye-opening for me, and you can watch him tell it actually on our YouTube channel. In the Legally Clueless Tours Dubai Part 1 episode that just went out, Dennis is in that episode. And if you're listening to this and wondering how you can share your story on this podcast, if you check out the show notes, there is a link to a Google form. Just fill it out and I'll get back to you. What's really awesome is this past week, I spent Wednesday, the full day, morning to evening, recording stories in person, not virtual. So that was really great to get back to. And it's always so awesome meeting people who form the Legally Clueless family and then hearing their stories, Another thing is that you can catch this podcast if you're in Kenya on Trace Radio here. Just go to traceradio.co.ke, and the podcast plays there every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. and 11 p.m. and every Friday at 1 p.m. So if you go to traceradio.co.ke, you can check out the list of the frequencies for wherever you are in Kenya for you to be able to tune in. Thank you so much for listening to this episode to the very end. What I wish for you in the week going forward is grace, which is like a standard here, but it's such an important thing, by the way. The more I dealt, the more I understand this. And I also wish you the strength to forgive yourself. That's always the tricky part. Forgiving others is really easy, but yourself, not so much. So those are the two things very randomly. I don't know what exactly is going on in your life, so this is a random wish for you. If it just happens to stick, coincidence, it's the universe. Grace and, the strength to forgive yourself. That's it for this episode of Legally Clueless. You can share this podcast with your friends. You can keep it for yourself. I'm not judging. Just make sure you're here next week for the next episode.